Right, we all remember last week when Nigel Farage went to Bromsgrove to expose a national scandal, how the government is having a private contractor, Serco, to help bring in illegal migrants from when they enter Dover instead of turning back the boats. They're giving them free accommodations and also free money whilst they go through the process, even though they're no longer refugees because they come from France. Now, the situation is that video came out last week. We showed you on this channel, and you've had a couple of mainstream media journalists talking about it, but nothing from the government. Yesterday, Nigel Farage went up north this time to actually expose this scandal again. He went to a number of different hotels, and this has resulted in Priti Patel finally waking up. At least, words, not action to an extent. She has called the Navy. She's called for an inquiry to see what's going on exactly. We'll have to wait and see. Wait for the action rather than just words. So this video, I'm going to show you a couple of clips from Nigel's video. I'm sure most of you have seen it, but I'm going to just review what we saw in that video. Let's go to it.
So we're here in leafy Cheshire, in Sandbach, and we're going into the Chimney House Hotel. No, we're not going into the Chimney House Hotel because it's closed, but there's a phone number. What's the number? No, didn't answer. There's not much we can do, is there? I mean, we know it's full because we've had lots of local residents saying, how come people are being put up in this amazing country house hotel, and quite a big place for wedding receptions, conferences, things like you see. It looks absolutely amazing. They don't want us going in, do they? Gosh. Well, look, I can't get in there. I'm not going to climb the fence. But we've had over a dozen emails from local residents here in Sandbach telling us this hotel is closed, but it's actually full. It's exactly the same thing as we saw in Bromsgrove last week.
So, from what I saw, basically last week when he went to the first hotel in Bromsgrove, the doors were still open. He just walked in and talked to the reception, the people obviously who were working at the hotel. Serco, who is running this operation and these hotels, the management of the hotels, have changed their strategy. They've been told to just lock the doors. And you can see actually the next clip, it goes to obviously different hotels. And obviously he's been informed, he's been receiving emails from local residents in these towns and cities. But Serco and the hotel management are very strict this time.
Is it closed?
Yeah, the hotel's closed.
We looked on the website and we tried to book. So you're full for the rest of the year, are you?
Yeah, well, the hotel's closed, so you're going to have to speak to Serco direct if you wish to speak to them.
Right, but it's full.
Thank you.
But it's full.
Yeah, the hotel's closed, sir.
But it's full.
The hotel's closed, sir. You're going to have to speak to Serco.
Close to the pub, then, you mean?
The hotel's closed, sir. Could you contact Serco direct?
Looks pretty busy. Well, I'll contact Serco direct.
Thank you.
So what is clear, what is pretty clear by the response of both hotels so far, is that following our trip to Bromsgrove last week, they put all these places on high alert just to keep people out. Obviously they couldn't fence this one off, yeah, the idea of the hotel's closed but it's full. So it's that same story, but they really are on alert.
But that's the thing. So they know that they're lying. That's why the guy was saying contact Serco direct, because if the hotel is closed due to the lockdown or anything, then obviously the hotel will be closed. Nobody will be there, like what we had between March and June. Now the issue is that because last week Nigel spoke to a number of local residents, and they obviously in Bromsgrove, they raised concerns that they weren't consulted. To the government and the media, the mainstream media have been going around saying that the local residents in all these towns and cities have been, they've talked to them, everybody's happy, everybody's welcoming everyone. It's a lie.
But one of the reasons I'm doing it, I just want people to get a handle on the sheer scale of what is going on here. So here we are, classic of all the others we've seen, car park completely empty, all the bedroom windows open, which means people are there, they're in. Let's have a look. Is it blocks off, or let's have a look. There we are. Empty car park, but full hotel. It's the same story everywhere we go. I shouldn't be laughing, really. So, this is the fourth stop here in the northwest this morning. We are now here at the Holiday Inn Express, Liverpool, Hoylake, formerly known as the King's Gap Hotel. Hoylake, nice little seaside town, famed, of course, because the British Open Golf Championship comes here from time to time. And, yeah, it's a nice part of the world. This hotel, like all the others, it's the same story. After I put out that video last week, local residents here getting in touch with me, saying that it's all been filled up with illegal migrants. But what's fascinating up here, I've just seen a Granada news report saying the whole town is overjoyed this is happening. Never has Hoylake been so welcoming. It's completely one-sided media. I'm doing my best to get this out because the government don't want you to know about it. Serco, who have been paid 2 billion quid over the next 10 years, certainly don't want you to know about it. But the impression's given that there were local consultations, the local community is very, very happy.
Well, it is concerning, as I said. The local media have been going around saying that people are very happy, very welcoming. Not saying people shouldn't be or should be, because this is no longer a case of migration. I've mentioned this so many times on this channel. Some people on the left always criticize me and say, well, your family were from somewhere else, Maya. Why do you hate people who are not from here? This has nothing to do with that. This is about people obeying the law, people actually going through the process. If you come here illegally, that's a whole different concept. And obviously, I will criticize it. But Nigel talked to a local resident about this, and actually, this is quite interesting. Watch this.
Justin.
Nigel.
Hoylake is home to you.
Yes.
What's happened here?
Well, a couple of months ago, the rumour mill started, and the next thing it filtered out, because the council didn't tell anybody, that we'd taken on about 40 or 50 refugees, as they described them.
Yep.
And they've been here ever since. We don't know where they're from. We don't know who's paying for it, but we suspect they're not.
No, you are.
Yeah. And I have to say, we're not looking at impoverished-looking chaps here. We're looking at young men in their 20s, maybe a little older, maybe a little younger in some cases, well-dressed, well-fed, well-cared for, which they're all good things. But when it was discovered that they'd been taken over to Anfield...
To what?
Anfield, it's the home of Liverpool football.
I know what
club.
Anfield is. What do you mean they were taken to Anfield?
Well, someone in their wisdom thought they might enjoy a day out. So there's thousands of kids around here who'd love to do something like that, but these lucky men got to do it instead.
What do you say went to Anfield?
They went for a guided tour.
What, all round?
All around the stadium, into the dressing room, through the tunnel, saw the famous Anfield sign, all of these things, yeah.
Well, that's the thing. So before people actually kick off and say, well, the guy said something, how do you know it's true? We have the evidence, we're going to show you the next clip. But he's right, because as a Man United fan myself, don't say anything. I know what you're going to say. And also other people too. When I lived in Manchester for 3 years, my dream was to just basically book a ticket, and actually you have to pay a lot and you have to wait in the queue to do a proper tour. You got the general tour, you got the proper tour. And there are a lot of people also in Liverpool who, from certain backgrounds, who try and who dream to go to Anfield, to go to the actual pitch. And these guys just skip the queue. And, why not? This doesn't look good. And that's why the next clip is actually very important.
Here we go again. That completely locked. We have to have a pass. Do we have to have a pass key? Here we go. Hello there.
Hello there, how are you?
Fine, thank you. So how long is this booked up for?
How long's this book for? I can't answer any questions in that.
You can't answer any questions?
No.
Is it a month?
You need to speak to the
6
the
months?
hotel. No, I can't answer any questions.
Do you not know, or you can't answer?
I can. I'm not at liberty to answer at the moment.
Wow. So is it completely closed to the public?
At the moment, yes.
Astonishing. How long have you been here?
again, I'm not going to answer that. I'll get into conversation about that.
You told not to say it.
No. It's just me myself.
Is it? It's funny. You're the fourth person today. You're the fourth person today who's been himself and said nothing. I think you're probably told what to do, but I get why. There's a lot of money involved, isn't there?
I can't comment on that, sir. I can't comment on that.
I can. All right, fine. Well, there we are. Same everywhere. Serco obviously getting a bit nervous, but then, hey, their share price is doing well.
Okay.
I know it's not a funny matter, but the last bit was quite funny when it said Serco share price is going up. He walks away, and one of the illegal migrants comes in, stares into the camera. But Serco and Home Office are clearly scared. So they've increased the security, or so-called security, of these hotels since last week. Because last week the Bronze Grove it was open. You just walked in. This time they have one or two people inside. The doors are locked. And if somebody obviously tries to come in, they'll tell them to go away, to talk to Serco. They're not really good at keeping secrets, are they? Because they're saying that, everything's fine. The hotel is closed, obviously. But then they reveal Serco's name. I don't understand, did these people go through any training or anything? But yeah, but the last thing is about Anfield. Obviously, the Liverpool's stadium, and obviously they've now won the Premier League. I'm not going to say anything about that, fine. But so this is the evidence that these people actually did get a free and premium tour of the Anfield Stadium.
It says, all back home to Hoylake after a memorable day. Highlights were the excitement of seeing Mo Salah's peg in the changing room, the gasps as we walked through the tunnel into the stadium, and tucking into pizza and fish and chips. I mean, so basically, what you got to do, you got to get on a dinghy, cross the channel illegally. You can come somewhere nice like Hoylake. They put you up in a great hotel, and just after Liverpool had won the Premiership, they take you for a tour of the stadium. And the people behind this charity, who funded this trip to Anfield, clearly think they're doing good. But actually, all these people will be sending selfies and pictures back to their countries, wherever they come from. And the message is, come on down, get into the country, hotels, 40 quid a week spending money, full board, trips to Anfield, who knows? Come to England legally, you might even play in the Premier League. I mean, that's the message that we're sending out. It's stone bonkers.
Aren't they mad? Well, you can have those.
So that's the tunnel.
It's what used to be the tunnel.
Right.
But yeah, I think it's all been redeveloped since then. But yeah, that's from the changing room.
It's not bad, is it? You come here illegally, and this is the kind of thing you get. And all this does is send an advert out to the rest of the world that Britain isn't just a soft touch, it's a great place to be illegally.
Yeah, so you have organizations like the charity that obviously are spending money on illegal migrants. You have the government, the Home Office, you've got Serco providing all these things. Whilst you have homeless people on the streets of this country, you have people in actual poverty, you have children who need their future to be secured. Nothing for them, nothing really. You have your welfare state, you got the safety net, which again, you have either a lot of people taking advantage of it, or a lot of people becoming dependent on it, whereas they need to be more, creating more opportunities for these people to actually have jobs and enterprise. And people at the bottom of society, people in real need of support, aren't getting anything. Yet, you're coming to this country illegally and you're fine. Most of these, obviously, applications will get rejected anyway, but the problem is a lot of these people will stay in the country illegally. They work cash in hand without paying any taxes, and God knows what else are they going to do. So this has finally put some pressure on the Home Office, and Priti Patel, she's calling for an inquiry. I mean, how long is that going to take? So if it's only a couple of days, it's fine. But she wants the Royal Navy, to act, which is fine, because they've found evidence, because of Nigel's videos, that French boats are actually pushing these dinghies towards the UK, and even that's crossing the line, even for Priti Patel. So we'll have to wait and see where this goes, because the mainstream media are still pretty much silent. The numbers are going up. We have been hearing more over the last couple of days on Twitter and on the BBC as well, because we had the record high in terms of the numbers of people coming in. But we'll keep you guys posted on this channel as usual. But also you have Nigel Farage's YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe to that if you haven't already. I'm ICC. I'll see you guys in the next video.